I also saw this the other day.
Do you understand that none of you will get
it that way?
Do you guys understand the consequences of what you've just done?
No.
You guys are not going to get into a college. You guys are not going to get any scholarships because this is a hate crime.
We all dropped out of high school.
3 teenagers doing full-on blackface, bro. I don't post on social media anymore because I feel like people like to be know-it-alls and say dumb shit. Don't want to post animals or plants. Dude, that's literally what it's become. It's just become a cesspool. How you're wrong. On YouTube comments, on Instagram comments, every comment section, every reply, it's always not about how much they like the thing. It's about how you're wrong about something. You post a picture of your dog. Hey, you're not doing that right. You post a picture of your cat. Hey, you're not doing that right. You post a picture of you saying, hey, I like this movie. And then you get a billion replies of so many people telling you how wrong you are and how you should kill yourself because you're wrong. Like, it's insane, man. Talking about how shit the internet is.
Or does it feel like the internet is just getting angrier and angrier all the time?
Wait, that's a good segue. Hold up. We just had a perfect segue.
I feel like I can't even interact with the internet the way I used to because it just makes me so anxious all the time now. Everywhere I look, everyone's just fighting with each other. Everyone's attacking one another.
Yeah!
TikTok video and people are all like, oh, why'd you do stuff this way? Why did you do it that way? Why are you even filming this? What's going on? Like, it just feels like the fun of everything is kind of going away.
Yes.
And maybe that's just endemic of like the bubbles that I'm in. Maybe it's just endemic of the stuff that gets served to me. But algorithmically driven content just kind of drives everybody to anger all the time.
Dude, that's why like rage baiting is so fucking huge right now, man, because they realize that the algorithm loves hate comments because what gets the most clicks? Is it a video that says, oh, this movie's fantastic. I love this movie. Greatest movie ever. Or is it a video title or a title of something that says, I hate this. Worst thing ever. Or is it a drama video? Is it like, oh my God, this person's absolutely horrible. Most people are going to be clicking on the shit that's in a negative connotation. Like no one wants to click on something that is like, oh, I love this. Oh, this is a great thing that's happening, you know?
Because it's so much easier to be angry about stuff and hate each other than it is to do anything decent anymore.
Yep.
And maybe it's always been like that, but now is just the only time that I've started to see it.
I think it's just because the algorithm is starting to realize that. Like, I think it has been a thing, but the algorithm is starting to like lean into that and then push those things forward more and more. Content's only a negative now, especially popular stuff. Yeah.
Me and my timelines and my algorithms and the things that I see from my perspective, but it just kind of seems like anywhere I turn on the internet now, if I spend any length of time on it, it just all seems so negative.
It makes you want to kill yourself. Like
it's just people
really
throwing
does.
Rocks at each other all the time. The internet was supposed to bring people together and do amazing things and connect the world. But
this is why I deleted social media. And this is why, like, we talk about comment sections. And, like, when I need to stop. Like, I need to stop. But it's just a case in point of, like, anytime I stop stream and, like, show you guys just some of the batshit insane comments I get on my videos, it's just that. Like, it's all negative. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Done is seem to highlight the problems more. You would think having so many people from so many diverse different backgrounds and cultures that would be able to all learn from each other, but it seems like people just double down and sit inside their bubbles and throw stones from there. And that's not even mentioning how much violence and war is going on right now. That seems to just entrench people more in their beliefs instead of reaching out and having a heart and being more open to things.
Double Sam, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Is that Elvis?
A lot of people have been, and that's great to see, but by and large, these things just keep happening over and over again. And that's not even mentioning like politics making people so angry and entrenching them into their own beliefs further as well.
I'm just going to say it. The political thing of like the divisiveness of the world right now in politics is, I feel like Trump is like one of the biggest reasons for that. I mean, it's just a fact. Whether you like him or not, like, I don't know how you would like him, but like, he is the reason there's so much political turmoil in the world when it comes to just people, right? Because think about it. Before Trump, did you guys ever even give a shit about politics? Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, you could probably like give a shit about politics to like a point of like policies, right? But did you ever care? No, you didn't until Trump came in office, and now everyone's at each other's throats all the time, right? Like back before Trump, I didn't know much about my parents' politics, and they didn't know much about mine, but we still respected each other. Even if like they had an idea, right? They knew I was more of a progressive guy. I knew they were more conservative people, but we're not sitting there talking about it. We're not sitting there saying like families are torn apart. Families are literally torn apart ever since Trump came in office and made everything like this. Like it is crazy because instead all we're doing now is demonizing. Like debates now are not about what we're going to do, how we're going to make things better. It's about what's wrong with this person, what's wrong with that person, right? And I feel like that's just the whole world now. Like everything is just what's wrong with you. Why are you bad? Let me point out the flaws in you. Let me show you why you're the worst instead of thinking about what's the good things. How can we make things better? Like it's so fucked up, man. It's all over the place.
And just picking.
People can't have nuanced conversation. Instead, it's basically either you're with us or against us. Yeah, exactly. You can't. Debating isn't even debating anymore. Like I'm not talking about debating as in presidential debating. I'm talking about like just having a conversation with someone you know. You can't debate with them, right? If you support Trump, you know this side thinks you're completely racist and a piece of shit, right? If you support Kamala, you want children to die, or you want pedophiles to bang your children, like that. That's how crazy it is. Like it is so bonkers, man. It is so like out there. It's insanity.
Taking sides and attacking each other all the time. It's really difficult for anybody to go onto the internet these days and just exist without being dragged into something that's going on. And I think the common denominator between all of these is people. And as generic as that sounds, that really is the humanity of it all.
Yo, I like your setup.
The lack of humanity.
I like your setup, Jack.
In regards to some of it. And I think the most important thing to a lot of people, especially me, and especially the things that I've heard from my audience over the years, is mental health. And anybody that's watched me for any length of time knows just how important mental health is to me, because I've gone through my own struggles with mental health over the years and still struggle with my mental health all the time. I don't think it's something that you ever figure out and you ever get on top of, but you can definitely get better tools, get better help. And that's what I've been doing. I've been reaching out and getting help from a therapist for like 2 years now.
Hell yeah.
I'm on medications for depression and anxiety to try and deal with my own mental health. So when people say that they're struggling and stuff helps them get through a hard time, I'm there with you. I know exactly what it takes, and I know how strong you need to be able to get over any of those obstacles.
You got that perfect chat screen on
And
the
I'm always
left?
trying
Yeah,
to
I
find
want
ways
that. I'm
to
jealous
help,
of that.
to progress things, to open up the conversation, to try and add funds to places that can help out, and trying to talk to the community all the time about mental health and making sure that it's not something that kind of falls to the side. And I've done it my entire career, which is why this year for Thankmas, I've decided to partner with Crisis Text Line and Samaritans, who are two wonderful organizations that deal with people in times of crises and mental health struggles to try and get them through tough times. In 2023, Samaritans and Crisis Text Line volunteers spent more than 1.4 million hours answering calls and texts for help. Samaritans answers a call for help every 10 seconds. And since its launch, Crisis Text Line has supported over 10 million conversations in the United States, more than 3,500 daily. I think we all kind of like know in the back of our heads that people are suffering and people are going through this stuff. But I feel like it's time to bring it to the forefront, to actually verbalize it, to talk about it, to confront it, and try and help however we can. According to the CDC...
Good, I thought he was going to say better help. Hell no. No, he's too smart for that. He realizes he knows better help.
Suicide is a leading cause of death in the US and affects people of all ages. Suicide was responsible for 1 death every 11 minutes in 2022 in the US. And it's not just in America either. Every 90 minutes, someone in the UK or Ireland takes their own life as well. That alone is the biggest killer of young people under 25 and middle-aged men. According to the World Health Organization, more than 1 billion people are living with mental health challenges of all varying degrees. That's like 1/8 of the planet, according to the notes that I have here in 2023.
Dude, the statistic about like middle-aged men is so real, and I feel like it stems from like all of like the not being able or not being allowed to accept yourself as a man. Like the whole toxic masculinity thing. You know, you grow up believing you need to be tough. You need to be like, don't show emotions, you know, all that different shit. And then you grow up, you're a middle-aged man and you don't know what to do with yourself. And like, you know, you don't want to talk to anyone about it because then you're a pussy, right? I feel like that is actually like a big part of why a lot of middle-aged men suffer from this shit. And not even to mention like, say like not coming out or like being ashamed of who you really are type thing. Like that is really strong with men as well, is like being ashamed of who you are. My dad struggled a lot with attempts with liposuction because of toxic masculinity, being told to bottle it up. Yep, that's true. And like, that's the thing when you grow up and you're surrounded by that, where you don't have anyone to talk to. You don't have anyone who's like, even your friends, they're all just bros. And you're like, no, like, you know, don't talk about your feelings and shit. Like, that's pussy stuff, man. What, are you going to cry about it? You know, that stuff? Like, that's fucked up. That's insanely fucked up. And so many men don't know how to deal with it. And then that happens.
The U.S. Surgeon General declared a national loneliness and social isolation epidemic throughout the country. And that's just in America. I'm sure that it's being felt everywhere. About half of U.S. adults are experiencing considerable levels of loneliness. Unfortunately,
and that has a lot to do with the internet, man. That has so much to do with the internet. I mean, it's just the truth.
That loneliness comes darker thoughts and depression, and being isolated from people is just not healthy for our brains. We're creatures that are designed to go out and interact with other people. And when our only means of doing that sometimes is through the internet, it can be really bad. I've lived quite a huge amount of my career just being online, and I can tell you that it's made me angrier and sadder and made me feel even more alone than if I were out interacting with people. And that's not always easy, but it's something that I feel like we need to talk about and open up the discussion to and help people who can't help themselves. The point of this video that I'm trying to make is that community is key to all of this. Community and the humanity behind it, because as easy as it is to drum up hate and drum up negativity together, it's also quite possible to do amazing things together, as we have proven with Thankmas countless times at this point. It's probably not countless. We can count how many times we've done Thankmas. To date, Thankmas has raised $26 million over all the Thankmases we've done, and that's only possible.
Social media has definitely amplified a disconnect between physical connection compared to before. And I feel like it's the anonymity. I mean, not just like you who you're reacting with on the internet, you don't fucking know. Like they might not even be a fucking person, right? They're just a random username. It could be anybody. You have no idea who you're arguing with. You have no idea who you're talking to, right? That is a big part of it, is the fact that it's complete anonymity. Anyone can say whatever the fuck they want, when they want, with zero repercussions, which leads to just, you know, war, basically anarchy. Could be a fucking bot and they'll still have malicious intent towards it. Yeah.
By community coming together. 2 years ago, we raised $10 million. Last year, we raised $6 million. And this year, we're hoping to try and raise $6 million again. I know that's a huge amount of money to try and raise, but Thankmas has been capable in the past. We're going to try again.
Pig is like that one dad you can hang out with. What, are you saying I'm old? Are you saying I'm old?
With the money that we're raising this year, we're helping to train 9,000 new volunteers across both organizations. They can invest in hardware and software to help expand.
All right, I think the rest is about the event that he's going to do. But I was just curious. I was curious what he had to say. But yeah, I really like the beginning of that. I really like the shit that he said. 'Cause he's been saying what everybody's been thinking, but no one's been talking about it.
Now it's time to walk away. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Did you laugh or cry or maybe subscribed? I'll thank you either way. You know I will miss you. I hope you return. Tell your friend or your mother to get me more views, please.